How's it going, guys, and welcome to another Lost Media special here on Sans Movies. Yes, another TV show here today, and we're looking at a really, well, not necessarily obscure, but infamous TV show. This was a special aired in Australia. Yeah, another Australian TV show. We are just so great with our history of embarrassment. And this is another really embarrassing thing to happen to us on Australian television. Not live like the last one, but pre-recorded and then aired, and then booted off air. This is notable for being the only show ever to be booted off air during its broadcast. You probably know what I'm talking about. It's Australia's Naughtiest Home Videos. A really shitty collection of clips of pretty much animals each other. I didn't actually beep that out. I didn't ever say it. This is just awful. This one wasn't necessarily lost. It was just unreleased for 16 years until it was finally released. I'll start from the beginning though. So in the early 90s, Australia's Funniest Home Videos was a really popular TV show. Everyone was watching it. The whole family would just sit down and watch this great show.
The makers of Evil Angels and the suspense of Hitchcock's The Birds, a show not for sensitive ears. Australia's Funniest Home Video Show, 7:30 Tuesday on 9.
Worst show. Bullshit. It was a really shitty show, and well, at least it's not on anymore, so that's good. And some wacky person, someone's wacky idea was to make one singular special called Australia's Naughtiest Home Videos, featuring, well, clips of
Fine short leg, middle stump.
That's all I really want to show because it's completely fucked. This was just a 1-hour special hosted by comedian Doug Mulray. And this guy, Doug Mulray, he was one of the greatest comedians of our time.
I just heard this is a record audience for Channel 9. About 160 more than the room is supposed to hold. If there's a fire, you're all gonna die.
He was just hilarious, said the right things at the right time.
Thank you and welcome to the most sensational collection of home videos since Rodney King nicked out one night for a pizza recently.
So the whole reason why this is notable is because at home, Kerry Packer, who ran the whole 9 network, the television station that was broadcasting the episode, he rung up halfway through after watching like 5 minutes or so of it and was like, "Get this shit off the air!" Because obviously it was really offensive to a lot of people, and Doug Mulray was making jokes to people at home saying, "Are you offended yet?"
Just before we go to a break, I'd like to sincerely say that if we've offended just one of you out there, we've failed. We were hoping for 500,000 offended viewers by now.
Ooh, we've had so many calls during the break.
Okay, during the break we had a few complaints. Well, more than a few actually. Telecom actually had to launch a new satellite to cope with the additional load.
So what did they do? Well, they kept it going. No, people didn't want to lose their jobs, so they cut the broadcast, they ended the show. This is what happened when they cut the broadcast.
We apologize for this interruption. Unfortunately, a technical problem prevents us continuing our scheduled program for the moment. In the meantime, we bring you a brief alternative program.
Film before a live studio audience.
We apologize for this interruption, but unfortunately, Kerry Packer has rung the station and said, "Get this shit off the air." I mean, we'll give you an episode of Cheers. So they played the episode of Cheers, which is much better than what we were watching. But people did eventually lose their jobs. The next day, Kerry Packer blacklisted people from the show. It was just so embarrassing, like, the boss of the network calling up and saying, "Get this shit off the air." Like, I mean, it doesn't get any more embarrassing. So this was unreleased by the 9 network. People didn't know after it was aired that they had it. People thought that people had just thrown it out because it was just such a disgrace. And there were theories that Kerry Packer burned it. But no, that didn't happen. The episode was still in the archives of Channel 9. It had just never been aired before, obviously. According to Rebel Taxi's special on this, who is one of my favorite YouTubers, by the way, Rebel Taxi, just like love your content. He said that 59% of this episode was aired. So I guess you could say most of it was aired, but My god, how embarrassing. We never got to see the rest of it. So was the rest of it still in the archives? Where was it? It was still in the archives, yeah. Nobody knew where it was, and I don't know if people were requesting it. I don't know if they played the episode by popular request, but they played the episode.
The special was aired again to nearly its entirety. Portions of a monologue ridiculing obese children was removed.
Oh sure, pick on the fat kid.
Bert Newton, who is the most iconic Australian television personality still alive, presented the show to everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, finally, in all its disgusting glory, hosted by Doug Mulray, it's Australia's naughtiest home videos.
Just so people could realise the half that hadn't been aired and the half that had, Bert Newton came in about halfway through and said, this is the point where they cut it off.
Anyone still watching back in 1992 was expecting more of the same. Instead, they got that announcement of technical difficulties which you heard, which was true. It's technically very difficult to keep a show on air with Mr. Packer on the phone yelling at you. So from this point on, the show's a premiere presentation. Not exactly brand new, but never before seen on TV.
And then they played the rest of the episode. So they did play the whole episode in its original run, and my god, it's the same shit. The rest of it was pretty much the same crap. I don't think it got any worse. It was all the same bullshit. Kerry Packer had died 3 years before it was released, so there was no chance of a second thing happening again. But this is a really funny joke that happens at the very end of the episode.
Well, there you go. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the program. If not, on behalf of the network, I apologise again. As it turns out, Mr. Packer may have been absolutely right. Good night. Where are you calling from?
I loved it how they put that in. But Channel 9, they were pretty much just like, oh, he's dead. Alright, well, we're already a really trashy television station, and Kerry Packer wasn't making it any less trashy by calling up and saying get this shit off the air, so let's air it anyway. I find this so interesting because there were actually fans of this show. Like, people wanted to see the whole episode, and I guess they got to, but it's just so I still think it's a really interesting piece of lost media. When I was 8 years old, I actually researched on this show, and I was really interested in what it was about because I was a huge fan when I was little of Australia's Funniest Home Videos. I was fans of the shittest shows when I was little. When I was looking it up, I accidentally came across Australia's Naughtiest Home Videos, and I was like, whoa! This is a bit past my bedtime. And I couldn't actually watch it because by then it hadn't been aired yet. But you're probably not going to believe me. I watched the clips on YouTube of the ones that were existing, the ones I'm showing you here. The only ones they had are people who taped it back in 1992. And then I think about a month or 2 months later, I was channel surfing one night. We had friends over, and wouldn't you know it, Australia's Naughtiest Home Videos is on. And I was like calling my mum, Mum, they're putting on Australia's Naughtiest Home Videos. And my mum's like, that's not for you! What? She wasn't like that. But I stopped watching it. I was just surprised that it was on because I was like, what the hell is this doing on TV? This is... What? It was really weird because my mum watched the original one in 1992 when it was aired, and I watched the re-aired one in 2008, which is strange. It was a really interesting piece of lost/unreleased media. No one knew if it had been lost or not. People just knew that it was never aired, never released, and they finally released it. I can't say it was good because I don't think the world would have been much different if they never released it. It's just a few extra 20 minutes of the same shit of animals having sex. Yuck. But if there's a fire, you're all gonna die.
If there's a fire, you're all gonna die.
I guess they re-aired it because it was a piece of television history that people wanted to see, and Channel 9 were just like, fuck it, we got nothing else on the schedule tonight. Let's just air the show that Kerry Packer pulled. I have rambled on about this for a really freaking long time. We are gonna get to the actual lost episodes of TV shows. Mark my words, we'll finally get to it. I am doing one international show. I've got 4 TV show episodes on the schedule for Lost Media at the moment, so I should do all 4 in early December. Because I'm Australian, I got to include Australian ones, but the one that's coming up next is actually lost, so stay tuned for that one. That one's pretty cool. Links in the description if you're a messed up person and you actually want to watch the whole Australia's Naughtiest Home Videos. God damn it, you people are fucked. Thanks for watching, guys. It was good. It's a good video. It's pretty boring, but yeah.
Yes, it's Australia's Naughtiest Home Videos. The program recommended by 9 out of 10 doctors, 4 out of 5.
My voice sounds really weird today.
Humongous what?
And end the show.